Puerto Rico lead out the contenders for this gold medal in the compound mixed team competition against the USA. Puerto Rico beating Denmark in the semi-finals. USA taking out the Netherlands. It's time to go for gold once again here in Paris.
On target number 1, representing the United States of America, Alexis Lewin. On target number 2, representing Puerto Rico, Paula Maria Ramirez Gonzalez. John Pizarro. The lineup for this matchup is Andrea Aguilar. For the team is Jack a gold medal available for the taking. 2 in back for these 2 archers that will be walking away from Paris looking gold.
So Puerto Rico lining up with Paolo Ramirez and Jean Pizarro, going up against the USA's Alexis Ruiz and Chris Schaff. Chris Schaff now sporting a rain jacket. Didn't look particularly happy in the lineup.
No, I think he'll be looking for some redemption here in this match because he wasn't too happy with the team match before. But he seems to have lifted his spirits somewhat now.
Well, certainly it looks like the USA contingent in the crowd are trying to pick him up. They saw that he was, well, he looked, I don't know, despondent, not cross, angry, frustrated. He just looked like he didn't want to be there. So the team doing their job to try and lift his spirits on the other side of the shooting line. It was all smiles for Ramirez and Pizarro. They got themselves into this gold medal match and taking out Korea, Mexico and Denmark en route. So not the easiest route, but it will be Chris Schaff of the USA to get the match underway.
Good finish, straight to the target. Yep! Right X. Good, strong shot. Good finish,
Quick
straight to the target.
wardrobe change there from Chris Schaff.
Yep! Muy bien. Vamos, Paola. Incluida. Muy bien, 10. Muy bien.
So very quick and determined shooting there from the Puerto Rican team. I feel like they just got on the line and got on with it.
Good finish, straight to the target. Trust it. Yep, X. Let's go, Alexis. Plenty of time. Nice and sweet.
What a difference a couple of arrows makes for Chris Schaff.
Seconds.
Pumping out 2 10s.
Good finish, straight to the target. Trust it. Good finish. Yep. There it is. Good. Good start.
Yeah, and as we said before, coming out of the gate strong is pretty much always shown to be beneficial in a match like this.
Eso es X. Muy bien.
25 segundos, mucho tiempo, como puedas tapar eso. Mucho tiempo.
Well, 2 perfect 40s. The USA's perhaps slightly better, but it doesn't really matter as long as they're all inside that 10 ring. You're going to get 40 points with 4 arrows there. But the change in composure, let's call it, for Chris Schaff was the big thing about that first end.
Yeah, I think it had to do with the like you said, the U.S. contingent in the crowd as well. They tried to hype him up a bit and tried to alleviate the situation and not make it too heavy on his shoulders. which is, I mean, in some ways a similar tactic to what we've seen from the Canadian coach in Berlin at the World Championships. It's just trying to get that athlete out of their own head and out of their own train of thought, because sometimes that just gets you in this almost vicious circle. Yeah, there you go. Just a little bit of positivity goes a long way.
Helped by a couple of tens.
Yeah, of course, but I think it's it's not one or the other. I think it's the two things together.
So nothing to separate the two teams, and coach there keeping the Puerto Rican athletes dry. Jean Pissarro is an interesting character, isn't he? In his official bio, he's athlete, coach, and official, but official doesn't really say, oh, he's the head of the Puerto Rican Archery Federation.
No, it doesn't indeed, but I think when he is in a competition like this, he is mostly athlete, and the other things are out of competition.
Alexis Ruiz there using the blower.
Yeah, she's trying to get rid of the water droplets on her clarifier, I think. She probably has a tiny lens in her peep sight that makes it easier to see where she's aiming. Because contrary to what people think, looking through a compound scope doesn't always mean that you have a super clear vision of the target. And what a clarifier does is it makes it easier to distinguish the lines from each other, and you can see it even clearer, hence the name clarifier. Yeah, that little lens, if there's droplets on there, it will just make your whole vision blurry. So you want to prevent that from happening. And if it does happen, don't blow it with your breath, because then it will condense. It will show.
Fog up.
Yeah, it will fog up. Yeah. Whereas if you do it with a little bellow or a blowing thingy that she had, it doesn't change the humidity. It doesn't change the way it looks.
The blowy thing. Technical term there from Chef Vandenberg, Olympic archer.
Let's go. Good, strong
I'll
shot.
just wait for you to come up with the Dutch word.
Chris Schaff starting at the second end, all square between the USA and Puerto Rico.
Trusted. Yep. Yep. Let's go, Alexis. Good, strong shot.
Sign of a little bit of confidence there from Chris Schaff. Not only
Good finish. Straight to the
hearing that he shoots a 10, obviously that will breed some confidence, but also knowing that it hits slightly on the right, I think is a sign that he knows what he's doing at this moment. He feels pretty comfortable with what he's doing.
Yeah, and communicating there with Ruiz as well, being proactive and saying both of our arrows went to the right there. We need to watch that in the second rotation.
And we've seen it more this session, and I had a sneaky chat with Mike Slusser from the previous match, and he also said their arrows both went to the right in the shoot-off, but they were both really good shots. So I think there is some sort of a draft on the field that sometimes will make your arrows go to the right, even though it's difficult to detect.
Good, strong shot. Nice and smooth. Good focus. Good finish. Straight to the target. Trust it. Yep. There it is. Let's go. Plenty of time. 20 seconds. You're good.
Chris seemed a bit stressed there about how much time he used, because he was stumbling to get his arrow on the bow, and then when he pulled back it fell off the rest. But he did give Alexis quite a lot of time left. With that 9, Alexis gives the opportunity to Puerto Rico to square up this match just again.
Interesting. Called for a measure, that one.
Yeah, I guess I see why, because the targets are wet, and sometimes that makes it difficult to see if there is a tear in the paper or if it's actually the arrow hitting the line. So they'll have a closer look, but from where we're sitting, it kind of looks like it hits the line.
Alors là, ça devient un petit peu compliqué parce qu'on a deux valeurs de flèche qui ont des Archery qui est à côté de la valeur qui regarde le câble d'affichage. La première flèche pour l'équipe américaine, on considère soit 19, soit 18.
It's not really for
On est à la lumière, on est sur le cordon, on attend simplement la validation, la confirmation de l'arbitre de sud pour nous apporter une éclairée par rapport à ça. Et il y a également la troisième flèche pour le Porto Rico qui s'engage à la lumière.
And it really is pouring down at this point. You can see that they brought their bows all the way with them under the umbrella, tried to keep it as dry as possible. That's just for the reason that you don't want to have your string set soaking up water, but also you don't want your grip to be too wet. You don't want like all the water on your bow collected. It only breeds for problems basically. So you want to keep it as dry as possible. In some cases, that we get a good look at Chris Schaaf putting his arrow back on his arrow rest there. In some cases, people would say it's better to just leave your bow out in the rain because then it will at least be consistent. But with changing conditions like this, where it's raining and then it's like raining a bit less and then it's raining more again, you kind of want to keep it as dry as possible because that's the most consistent thing you could do. Yeah, well, they both shot really well leading up to these finals. The USA team, I think historically speaking, is obviously the favorite going into this match. This is Puerto Rico's first finals, so the first finals ever, if I am correct in that statement.
good finish, straight to the target, trust it.
So obviously, just given the experience that the US has in the format, but also in this sport, you would have to give this to the USA. But Puerto Rico is holding their own in this particular match.
Good strong shot, good focus, good finish, straight to the target. Trust it. Yep.
A bit of a stumble there in the shot, but still well within the 10 ring.
Mucho tiempo, Pau. 53 segundos. Amarillo y lineal para atrás fuerte. Bien, excelente. Excelente tiro, Pau.
And I think despite the lack of experience, Puerto Rico is shooting very impressive, and especially in these circumstances.
Almost like they've got nothing to lose, even though it is the gold medal match.
Yep.
At the same time, USA starting
Go,
to
Alexis.
apply some pressure now.
Yeah. You say that nothing to lose, and I think there is a point in that where the US is expecting to win this match just because of their merit. And in Puerto Rico, they can write history in winning their first ever World Cup. So they will be looking to win, obviously. But if they lose, that's kind of what, statistically speaking, is expected from them. So they can really only win this match. And then consequently putting most of the pressure on the USA team for, they're expected to win. So that puts some pressure on you as a team.
Bien, 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 bien.
Well, Paro Ramirez shooting the 9 when the pressure was on. So USA lead by a single point going into the final end. But it by no means looks like Puerto Rico's first final.
No, they seem like, obviously you can see a little bit of the pressure and a couple nerves in their face, but they don't seem to be, faltering under the pressure. They seem to be dealing with it very well, and impressive showing.
trying to stay relaxed and focused. Take a good look at Ramirez's unfussy process. She gets up to full draw pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, this one, I think she was in a bit of a time pinch as well. That's why, even though she shot the 9 with her last arrow, they were still very happy she went onto the line. She got her shot off really quickly and managed to still get a 9 because they didn't have that much time left on the clock.
All right, so I gotta make some noise, ladies and gentlemen. Let's show some support for Team USA. Alexis Lewis and Chris.
Just had a bit of a look at Chris Schaaf trying to dry his release aid off as much as possible. He was wrapping it in his shirt and trying to get most of the water off because a metal release will obviously get pretty slippery if you have a lot of water on there. And the rain must have had such an effect on the targets that they feel the need to change them right now, because you could see already on the target face of the US there was a bit of like it was broken on the top left, so there was a white spot in the red area, and that's just like it's paper with I think it's nylon thread braided through so that it's stronger, but at some point the rain will get the best of the paper, obviously.
That seems to have happened here. And after the week that we've had in Paris, where the weather, you described it perfectly, was scorching, particularly yesterday. This is new conditions for the archers.
Yeah, and I think some archers will enjoy this over, or prefer this over like the scorching temperatures we've seen before, but it does make for some different challenges.
We do get to end number 4. Looks like USA were perhaps a little caught unawares there, still preparing their equipment.
Bien, muy bien. Lindo.
¿Qué tiempo?
Vamos, Paola.
Un poquito para la izquierda, pero
Sí, está bien. Sí. Vamos, Paola.
solo
Corta y
zona
fluido.
y fluida. Zona y fluida. Zona y fluida. Eso.
Yo, tres.
Bien,
Vamos,
bien.
vamos.
Time for the USA now to put the squeeze on Puerto Rico.
Good focus. Good finish. Straight to the target. Trust it. Yep.
I was going to say, in normal settings, you would expect the US team to just shoot a really high score in this last end and clinch the match. But with the rain being so on and off, you never know what's going to happen.
Good
So
finish. Straight to the target.
in Puerto Rico's case,
Trust it.
just shoot as well as possible, because there's only 1 point between them now.
Key for Pizarro. Get a good score here. And now it's over to Ramirez. Fancy they're going to need another 10 here to keep the pressure on the USA.
Solo zona y tiro lineal.
Good strong shots. Trust it.
Third 9 in a row for Ramirez, so a 156 set. And you have to say, that's plenty of breathing room in normal circumstances for this USA pairing.
Good focus.
Chris Schaaf and Alexis
Good
Ruiz.
finish. Straight to the target. Trust it. Yep. Let's go, Alexis. Good strong shot
Pressure
here.
busting shot there means
Lots
that
of time.
Ruiz just needs a 9.
Nice and smooth. Good focus. Good
Is it
finish.
gold
Straight
for
to
the
target.
USA?
Trust it. Trust it. Yep.
And it's into the 10, so yes, it is the USA going on to win with a 158 out of 160 against Puerto Rico's 156, and the USA just put the pressure down in the second half of the match. A very impressive Puerto Rico were all square at the halfway stage, but then Ruiz and Schaaf just accelerated away, and they've taken the USA to the gold medal in the compound mixed team competition here in Paris.